Canadians just made history with their calls for a ceasefire. A parliamentary e-petition calling on the Canadian government to demand a ceasefire just became the most signed in Canadian history by a landslide. This also means Parliament has to respond to the petition, meaning Trudeau's government has to directly address calls for a ceasefire. Let me explain. Basically, any Canadian can submit a petition through the government's e-petition website, which was created in 2015. If it gets the support of 5 Canadians and is backed by a member of parliament, it goes live for up to 4 months. If it gets at least 500 signatures during that period of time, it's presented to the House of Commons and the government has to table a response. In this case, NDP MP Alexandre Boulris is backing the petition. And while MPs sometimes sponsor petitions they don't believe in so that constituents' voices can be heard, the NDP has been calling for a ceasefire, which is exactly what this petition is demanding, among other things. The petition, which is still open for signatures until November 23rd, already has almost 250,000 of them. That's more than 17,000 more signatures than the second most popular e-petition in history. So not only is it a historic number of signatures, but it's also enough to force a government response. And you can expect that response within 45 calendar days of the petition closing. I'll keep you updated on that. Meanwhile, despite polling that suggests 2/3 of Canadians support calls for a ceasefire, the government is still ignoring the call. Even in his strongest rebuke to date, Trudeau still didn't mention the word. Meaning that even though his comments infuriated Netanyahu, Trudeau still stopped short of fulfilling what most Canadians want him to do. Will this petition change his mind? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, his government now has to respond to it eventually. Until then, more Palestinian lives are being lost every day in Israel's brutal bombardment of Gaza. What do you think of all this?